All right, this is the Sam Auxier Jr Racing channel here, and we got a guy for the second go around. Uh, really a pioneer. I really look up to him, uh, being pioneer of NASCAR and NHRA. But he's and his dad, one of the founders of. I think I can say the founder of one of the guys with NASCAR. So really, let's welcome Colbert Seagraves. Thank you, Colbert, for being back. We look forward to it, and we are live at the moment. So, all right.
No, Sam, it's always good to be on your show, brother.
Well, we hope to be. We try and make it. I've been 2.5 weeks trying to move, and everything has fought me from day one, including this podcast computer deal. But anyway,
my dad used to say technology was a wonderful thing when it works.
Yeah, right. And at the way we were going, it wasn't working, So, but anyway, we battled it and finally got it. I had to put you off a week because of the things that can go wrong with this crap. So anyway.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's drop back here some. And when you were younger, and you were in NASCAR, who was the guys you hung with, or who was the drivers? Who was your favorite? Who was whatever?
Well, my hero, and he's still my hero, and mentor, I had two of them, was Junior Johnson and Bobby Allison. That was the first driver and car owner that I worked for. I was 15 years old, and Junior kind of took me under his wing, and I was really good friends with Maurice Petty. Back then, it was very rare for someone my age to be in the garage area in the pits, unless you were actual family, like the Wood brothers, Glenn Wood's two sons, Eddie and Lynn. They're both good friends of mine, and we grew up together. And Marvin Panch's son, Richie, and then Marvette Panch's daughter, and then Joey Arrington with his dad, and so it is a lot of fun. I didn't realize what I had going for me. Back when when I was racing is like the Barbara Mandrell song. I was racing when racing wasn't cool, and but then all of a sudden when it exploded, everybody wanted to be my friend, and everybody wanted to know if I could get free tickets.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
They all jump on that bandwagon,
And
they're your best friend.
Oh yeah, absolutely. People that you hadn't heard from in years. Hey man, can you give me some races to Wilkesboro? Right. Some tickets. Yeah, it's always a treat.
I don't even remember you, but anyway, can I get some tickets?
Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, I worked in the pit crew. My first job was handing Bobby Allison a wet rag and a drink on pit stops. Then I graduated to being the catch can man. And from the catch can man, I was the backup gas man and tire guy, and did a little bit of everything. But it was definitely an experience. And growing up with Junior Johnson and Flossie Johnson, it doesn't get any better than that. And especially, the lessons I learned from them and took away were phenomenal. And they were a lot like my mom and dad. They grew up poor, and had a hard life. And Junior's probably one of the smartest men that I ever knew. Like with my father. My father had an 8th grade education, and at one point in time, he was probably one of the most influential people in motorsports in the country. Yeah. And he could. Dad, he started out as a cigarette salesman in Alexandria, Virginia. He sampled the White House. He knew the presidents from Eisenhower to Reagan and Bush Sr. By name, and they knew him by name. So, Dad had a lot of influence, knew a lot of people, and he got things done. That was one of the things about Pop that I always admired was I never heard him say, I can't do that. He was one of those that, it can be done, just got to figure out a way to do it.
Exactly.
And Junior was the same way. I'll never forget, we were at Rockingham, and everybody was complaining about our fuel mileage. And they said Junior had a big gas tank on the race car. And Junior told him he didn't have a big gas tank. And they confiscated our gas tank, and it pissed him off. So he got in the car, cranked the car up, and drove it off while they were standing there holding the gas tank, drove it through the tunnel and onto the truck, and then took the car back to North Wilkesboro and said, told you my gas tank wasn't that big. And, but he had an extra 5 foot of fuel line running through the roll bars that they didn't know about. So, things like that. It's a shame that they've really taken away the ingenuity from the race teams in today's NASCAR. I mean, everything. It's, to me, they're not stock cars anymore. It's the racing. There's the crew chiefs. You've got all these engineers and everything. The Herb Nabs, the Ray Foxes. I mean, the guys that made the sport, the Jake Elders, the Junior Johnsons. I mean, they were phenomenal at what they did, and it's just progressed so much. They've taken a lot. They've taken the gray area away, as I like to say.
They're like Indy cars. They're just a cookie cutter type car with a different engine in it.
Sure.
What kills me on TV is they never show. They don't do any under the hood now to show you what them looks like. Nothing.
Well, that was one of the things I enjoyed when they had Tim Brewer and Jeff Hammond and Larry McReynolds doing the deal, especially when Tim had that cutaway car and would show the fans what was going on during the race. They don't
do any of that now.
Yeah, no. And I remember when I worked for Travis, when I was Jimmy Spencer and Darrell Walters' team manager, we had Darrell's 72 Torino on display at our shop. It was his first Winston Cup car. And it had a 427 motor in it. And if you looked inside of that car compared to what our race cars looked back in 2000, it was a phenomenal difference. And it's a phenomenal difference to where the cars were in 2000 to what they are today.
Right.
And, progress is always a good thing, but sometimes, you can go a little too far, a little too fast.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what's hurt NASCAR. I think they're smart by trying to go back to their roots, running at Bowman Gray, running at North Wilkesboro, possibly going back to Rockingham. They built all these cookie cutter tracks all across the country. And, Fontana closed down, Chicagoland closed down. I think they're opening Chicagoland back up. Rockingham was a great track. Everybody either hated Rockingham or you loved Rockingham. Kyle Petty loved it because he won a bunch of races there.
Yeah, right.
Most of us hated it because 500 laps at Rockingham was brutal. It took like forever. It was like running the World 600
marathon.
Yeah, and it was usually colder than a well digger's behind when we ran Rockingham in the spring.
I'm amazed that Kyle Busch has such a problem with the car. I mean, he's doing terrible.
Well, you look at the transition that Jimmy Johnson made after he won all those championships, and when they switched over that car. I mean, he won a couple of races, but he didn't do. I mean, he hasn't done anything since then. And I think Kyle's problem is just that I think he still has. I think he's an outstanding talent. I just think that he just hasn't got a handle on the new car.
he just
and
doesn't have,
they haven't been able to get him comfortable in it.
yeah, he just I mean, he's spinning out, he's not handling good, he can't run fast. It's crazy. That's got to be killing him. I mean, from a guy.
Especially as competitive as he is, and I mean,
Oh,
he's a phenomenal race car driver.
yeah.
I'll never forget Flossie Johnson. God rest her soul. I loved her to death, and she was like my adopted mama. But she was a smart lady when it came to racing.
Yeah.
She said if she could pick, this was before she passed away a few years ago, but she said if she could pick a driver, any driver, it would be Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
And if she could have any crew chief, it'd be Chad Canals. And
Yeah.
she said she'd whip everybody's butt with the two of those. And I have no doubt that she was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But crazy now. There's just a bunch of them that are not running real good. There's a few of them that are running super good, but it's sort of they're either running off with the show or they're back in the pack. But they need more pack racing really to. But Reddick he's like killing them. I don't know.
Well, I mean, Reddick's running on that streak just like Gibbs's teams ran for a while, Childress's teams ran for a while, Hendrick's teams ran for a while. You get that as Junior, you say, get that lucky horseshoe up your butt, and you can't do any wrong.
That's right.
That's what Reddick's doing. I mean, the year that we won the 3 championships in a row, 76, 77, 78, was a phenomenal run. And I think every time we left to go to a race, we won every third race that we were in that year. We won 11 or 12 times that year. And, it was phenomenal. And the year that Bobby drove for Junior, I think we had 10 or 11 wins and 12 poles, and finished second to Richard in the championship points. And, I tell people all the time, if those two hardheads could have gotten along, Richard Petty wouldn't have won 7 championships, and neither would Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah,
because they were pretty much an unstoppable force had they been able to get along and stay together. And Bobby would admit to that, and so would Junior. They wouldn't tell each other, but they would tell me. So yeah. Oh boy. Well, there's so many of the guys. I look back at the Curtis Turners and those guys, Weatherly, and all those guys. That was phenomenal back then. Yeah.
And those cars were so dangerous, man. They
absolutely. Hey, you look at the when Lee Petty went over the wall at Daytona. There's no way he should have lived through that. There's no way Michael Waltrip should have lived through that wreck that he had at Bristol.
No.
I mean, and Earnhardt had a whole lot worse wrecks, I thought. The wreck he had at Talladega, I think 2 years before he got killed. I'd never seen anything like it. When they came up with the Earnhardt bar right there in the middle of the windshield to keep the windshield and the roof from caving in on the driver. We finished second in that race to Bobby Labonte, and when they brought his car in, I was like, wow. And I mean, and he walked away from it.
Yeah. And you just can't figure it. I seen the wreck on TV, in 2000.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think nothing of it. I said,
well, I didn't think nothing of it until they showed Schrader, and as animated as Schrader was, I knew right then something wasn't right.
Something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Well, there's all kinds of incidents that happened that you think could have been worse or should have been worse, but those are some tough guys back then. I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, just like in drag racing. I mean, look at Big Daddy. Got half his foot cut off, and then decided the best thing to do was to develop a rear engine dragster so that wouldn't happen again. And I mean, And I mean, he's still going at it today. And I mean,
Yeah.
he's 90 something. And
Right.
his mind is still as sharp as it was when I first met him in 1975.
I know. He's just,
Yeah.
he's got that in him, and he just never lets up. And he
Oh, no,
keeps
not at all. He's like the Energizer Bunny.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what it takes, So today, do you have any particular drivers or crews or something you deal with, or who,
Not
you're
not like I used to.
right.
I still dab a little bit helping people with some sponsorship and in the lower ranks and stuff, trying to help people secure some. And but for the most part, Chris Williams, who runs the Smart Tour, I help him out when he needs somebody for the board to when they penalize somebody and they ask for mediation. I go and Jeff Hammond and myself help Chris out. But yeah, and it's always good to hear both sides of the story. And usually it's a big fight or something that they're unhappy about.
Yeah, that's the tough part of it. There, don't get in the middle of it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's and like I said, being blessed with, when Reynolds got involved in drag racing,
Yeah.
I'd been helping Junior for about 3 years. And I went to my first drag race at Rockingham. Never been to a drag race. And I fell in love with it the first time I was there.
Right.
And my dad took me around, and Robbie Powell and Richard Dilworth were working for my pops. And they took me around and introduced me to a lot of the drivers and the crews and stuff. And, back then it was just drag racing was so much more accessible than cup racing, and getting to know people. I mean, they were just, I wouldn't say they were more friendly, but they weren't as guarded as the NASCAR people were. Because a lot of these people were from California out west and stuff. And they were just a little more accepting of outsiders. Right. And so I met Richard Tharp. He was driving for Kurt and Bones Carroll, the Carroll brothers out of Texas. He was driving Top Fuel Dragster, and Bones wasn't there that weekend, but Kurt was there, and there was just the two of them working on the dragster. And so Richard said, your dad said that you had some experience. He said, could you help us out this weekend? And I said, sure. So I'm learning how to do the bottom end on a Top Fuel dragster, and change the heads, change pistons, because you do that after every run.
Right.
And I was getting another education in a different sport, which was just phenomenal. Yeah. And we lost in the second round to Big Daddy. Yeah. And so I'm just kind of cruising the pits, and because we're done, I've helped them load everything up. And so I run into Gary Beck, and he just had, I think Terry Capps was his crew chief, and it was just the two of them. And they go, well, hey, y'all are out of it. Can you come help us? And I said, well, sure. I'm free labor. So everybody loved free labor back in the day. So I'm over there helping them. Well, we end up beating Big Daddy in the finals, and I go to Winter Circle. They make me go to Winter Circle with them and said, hey, you're part of the team. Come on. And my first drag race ever, I ended up in Winter Circle. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. I didn't even have a uniform. I had on a T-shirt from Honda of Winston-Salem. Yeah. Yeah. But there I was with Gary Beck and his crew chief and Larry Carrier in Winter Circle at Rockingham. I still have the picture, so that was pretty cool. Right. Yeah. And but I worked with Richard until they quit. I think the Carroll brothers kind of backed off a little bit, cut back, and so Richard wasn't coming as much. And so I'd gotten to be really good friends with Harry Schmidt and Raymond Beadle in the Blue Max Funny Car. Right. And Beadle and Harry asked me if I wanted to help them, and so I started helping them. It was Harry, Beadle, and Waterbed Fred and me. And I got a great education there as well. Raymond Beadle was probably one of the coolest, calmest drivers I've ever met. I never saw him get upset. And if he lost, he'd like, hey, no worries, we'll get him next time. Now, Perdome would throw stuff. Kenny Bernstein would throw stuff, and I mean, oh yeah, it was. They did not like to lose, but Beadle, he just he just going down the road, and he was he was just, him and Snake were two of the coolest drivers that I ever met. And Snake to this day is still probably, he's the epitome of cool. He's the Steve McQueen, Paul Newman of drag racing. And then Force is right there with him. I mean, you got to love John Force. He's just nuts.
Like John.
Yeah. I'll never forget. Force was here for the Winston Invitational in Rockingham, and we were having a big salmon and crab cook. One of our buddies from Cedro Woolley, Washington, had brought a bunch of salmon and crab legs down from, and he was coming for the drag race. So we had a big cookout, and John was doing publicity. And so we had Junior and Flossie Johnson and my mom and dad, and we were all over at Red Hayes' house, and Dan Henley was there, and a bunch of other drag racing folks. And so Force came. Chris Powell was he was the PR guy for drag racing at the time. And so he brought Force over to the cookout, and my dad and Junior were sitting there, and they were talking, and Force came up, and he starts, 100 miles an hour as always. And he's talking to Junior, and he's telling Junior, he said, you need to let me drive that race car. He said, if we don't win the race, he said, we'll put on a hell of a show. He said, I'll be upside down coming across the start finish line on fire. And he said, it'd just be unbelievable. And he got down with a shop rag and started shining Junior's shoes. Like that was going to help convince him to do that. Yeah. But I mean, he was just a nut. And one of the best guys you'll ever meet. John Force is just I never saw him at a loss for words.
Right. Yep. I guarantee you that. I had a year, about 10 or 15 years ago, I had an interview with him, and I had his house number. So I called the house number, and I think Brittany answered. This before Brittany was even driving or anything. She was just a kid. And I said, where's your dad at? He said, well, he went out. He's supposed to be back here to do this. And so I went on, and, I went on and on with her, and she just rattled on for about 45 minutes. And I'm going like, this is probably as good as John.
Yeah. The girls are great. Yeah.
He never did show up, but I knew that's the way he is, So,
well, yeah, I started collecting helmets in '92. The first helmet I ever collected was one of Richard Petty's, his final season. Right. And so in '93, I was doing drag racing, and I talked Ed Dace McCullough out of two helmets. He gave me his Miller helmet that he won Indy in. And then I got his helmet at the end of the season because he was switching out. He was driving the McDonald's car that year. And so I talked Force out of his championship helmet. And he gave it to me in Texas. And so I go to get it, and we're up in his lounge of his trailer and everything, and he's signing the visor. He writes a paragraph on the visor. And to my main man at Winston, Colbert Seagraves, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And so I leave, and I go out, and I'm walking back to the suite, and I'm reading it. Hell, he hadn't signed it. He just wrote a paragraph, but he didn't autograph it. So I go back, and I knock on the lounge door, and he opens the door, and he said, "You coming back for another helmet?" I said, "No, I'm coming back for you to sign the son of a gun." And he started laughing. He said, "I didn't sign it." I said, "No, but you wrote a hell of a paragraph." So then he wrote his name and signed it and sent me on my way. But
full face or open?
Pardon me? Oh
Open,
no, it was a full face.
full face.
Yeah, this was probably 90, 93, I think. Yeah, it's probably about 1993. Now I've got a open face that was Dale Emery's. I've got an open face of beetles, blue max. I've got an open face of snakes and an open face of mongooses. And then I've got a full face of snakes, one of his final strike helmets. Anybody that gets anything from Perdome is very, very fortunate because he usually does not give anything away and he does not sell anything.
Right.
So I was very, very blessed that Don liked me and let me have them. I've got Jim Head's camel helmet and and I've got Kenny Bernstein gave me one of his helmets when he was driving the Bud King back when he broke 300, and so I've got about 100 helmets in my collection.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah. I guess you got a huge trophy room, or
yeah. My downstairs, my wife says I got a lot of crap, and my downstairs is full. I've got. In fact, I'm getting ready to get rid of a lot of stuff. I told her, I said, because I've got way too much, and like I've got probably 50 framed prints that my dad had when he passed away 28 years ago that are still in brown paper up in the rafters. And I don't need all those. I'm going to keep one of everything. And like all my crew uniforms, I got them out and was looking at what I had. Right now, I've got to buy 28 shadow boxes for the different crew uniforms that I've had over the years. And I probably still have a few others that I've got to dig up in the attic in the garage. But I want to try to get all that stuff. But I've got my trophies from when we were when I was Matt Smith's sponsor with Viper Motorcycles, and we won the 2013 NHRA Pro Stock Motorcycle Championship. So I've got all my Wallies from winning those, and from got our World Championship trophy and stuff. I've got all those on display and a lot of stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. You got a horse in your house?
Yeah, I've got two Weimaraners. They're both rescues. That's Gemma, the black one, and then Loki, the one on the gray one, and then that was my wife that slid in behind me there. Yeah.
Well, that's a monster.
Yeah, he weighs 98 pounds, and Gemma, my sweet girl, she's about 78.
She probably eats 98 pounds of food a day too.
Yeah, he does pretty well. Yeah, that and snacks. His mom gives him lots of snacks.
Right.
Lots of treats.
I bet.
He's the soft-hearted one in the family. I'm hard.
That's cool. God. Oh boy. Well, I'm going to wrap it up, Colbert. It's always great talking to you. Always a good experience. Always a lot of past fond information. Well, present too, with all the awards and trophies and helmets. Gee, that's amazing that you accumulated all those in that time.
I'll send you some pictures.
Yeah, send me.
And
some.
I tell you what, do me a favor, send me your address, and I'll send you one of Dad's Pro Set cards.
Hey, there you go. I appreciate that. But I'll send it to you. Thank you very much. Thank you for being on here.
Yes, sir. I enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
And maybe I'll be down North Carolina there one day.
Well, hey, you come to North Carolina and I'll show you a good time. I'll take you down to Petty's and take you over to Childress's, and we'll do the tour. I'll make sure the King's there.
I tell you, and Childress has got what a heck of an operation.
Oh yeah. His compound down there is pretty phenomenal. The museum's really cool, and what's great is some of the guys that were part of the Flying Aces are still there working, and so and Timmy Petty builds motors down there, Maurice's son.
Oh,
So
that's right.
take you down to the engine shop and the whole 9 yards.
It is amazing. Yeah, I've seen the video that
Yeah.
Cletus McFarland showed
Yeah.
with him and all. That's phenomenal, really. Great.
Oh, yeah.
But that's great. All right, Guy, it's great. I appreciate your time, and maybe I'll take you up on the visit.
Yeah, anytime. We even have a bedroom for you, brother.
There you go.
And if you want a dog to sleep with, I can give you one of those. They like getting in the bed.
He take up a whole bed.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right. Oh man. All right, Guy. We thank you, and we'll catch up with you.
All right, sounds good, Sam. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Enjoyed it.